At exactly 0300 hours, a Tomahawk launches from the VLS cells of the USS Gravely and tears toward the Zagros Mountains. Seconds later, the booster drops away, the turbofan comes alive, and the missile levels out just 50 feet above the surface of the Gulf. 4 seconds after that, another cell fires, then another, then another. In that moment, the largest military operation in the region is underway, and the IRGC is about to witness, up close, the scale of American firepower. Within 90 seconds, 8 missiles are already in the air. A few hundred meters to the northwest, other destroyers are carrying out the same sequence. Deep inside the underground OGAB-44 complex, Iranian commanders believe they are untouchable, protected by hundreds of feet of granite. They see their missile city as a hidden fortress, impossible to reach and invisible to the outside world. What they do not realize is that every mobile launcher they own is already giving away its exact location to the sky through covert beacons. While they watch their screens, a concealed device secretly planted earlier by an Israeli operative is transmitting a precise strike coordinate straight to an OPI-16 spy satellite overhead. What do you do when you discover you were tracked, targeted, and outmaneuvered before you ever had a chance to press the launch button? For months, Israel's Unit 8200 had been playing a patient and dangerous game in the shadows. Long before a single missile was prepared, deep cover assets had infiltrated the base and physically attached ultra-miniaturized GPS beacons to the chassis of the IRGC's most valuable equipment, the Heavy Transporter Erector Launchers. These were not ordinary trackers. They were passive, dormant, and almost impossible to detect, sitting in an ultra-low-power sleep state until the exact moment they were needed. At 0308 hours, the instant U.S. Navy Command gives the signal, the beacons begin to pulse. Suddenly, the satellite is no longer just observing a mountain. It is seeing the missile city from the inside out. It can identify the exact bay, the exact tunnel, and the exact position of every launcher concealed within the Zagros range. The air gap Iran once relied on, that supposed shield from the outside world, no longer matters. Once your enemy knows precisely where you are, the thickness of your walls means very little. That is the brutal irony of the situation. It is like locking someone in a basement, only to realize you already placed a tracking device in his pocket. Every move the IRGC makes, every small adjustment, every time a driver shifts a launcher, even slightly inside a tunnel, the OPI-16 refreshes the targeting solution in real time. On the combat screens aboard the USS Gravely and USS Carney, those enormous launchers, once considered impossible to locate, now appear as blinking green targets on a digital map, practically inviting a Tomahawk strike. By 0312 hours, just before the incoming wave reaches the coastline, Iran's air defense network is preparing to turn night into daylight. Deep in the Zagros Mountains, the OGAB-44 complex depends on an advanced fiber optic network to send target acquisition data to its Bavar 373 batteries. But for that system to function, the entire complex depends on one thing above all else: massive, uninterrupted electrical power. The Israeli Air Force has no intention of wasting expensive munitions on reinforced bunkers built to survive near misses. Instead, they aim for the most vulnerable point, the lifeline keeping everything alive. A pair of F-15I Ra'am fighters, operating under strict emissions control to stay nearly invisible, reach their release point near the Iraqi border. Their targets are not the launchers. Their targets are the energy nodes. Beneath the wings of the Rams, Rampage supersonic missiles ignite and surge forward. These are not standard warheads. They are kinetic penetrators built to trigger structural collapse. Moments later, they slam into the high-voltage transformer substations surrounding the OGAB-44 complex. Blinding flashes race across the mountain range as the substations are destroyed. In an instant, the grid goes dark. Inside the OGAB-44 control rooms, lights cut out without warning. The primary fiber optic network, the backbone of Iran's hardened defense system, falls silent. Screens go black. Communications freeze. Systems stall. Iranian commanders react immediately, rushing to activate the facility's emergency backup generators, a decision that quickly becomes a costly mistake. These massive industrial generators do not operate quietly. They pour out streams of superheated exhaust as they struggle to restore power to the underground complex. In the freezing mountain night, those vents become bright thermal markers on the long-range infrared sensors of Israeli Oran AEW&C aircraft. The hidden fortress is hidden no longer. What was once invisible now shines as a clear, high-contrast thermal signature, perfectly marked for the cruise missiles already approaching at Mach 0.7. The power grid was never just a utility. It was the nervous system of the entire complex, and Israel had just cut the spine. By 0500 hours, the underground defense grid is still functioning only through unstable backup power, but the OGAB-44 command staff remains active. Inside the mountain, crews work frantically to realign their Bavar 373 launchers, trying to regain target locks on the incoming Tomahawks. They believe they still have one final chance to save their missile city. What they do not know is that Unit 8200 is already moving into the next phase. From a secure high-bandwidth relay somewhere near the Jordanian-Iraqi border, Israeli intelligence launches a red code cyber injection through a sophisticated man-in-the-middle exploit. Within moments, they breach the IRGC's satellite-fed command and control uplink. The system doesn't simply fail, it begins feeding false reality. Every fire control terminal inside the OGAB-44 bunker receives a high-priority authenticated packet. Screens flash crimson with an urgent maintenance warning. The message is direct, alarming, and formatted exactly as operators would expect. Immediate systemic anomaly detected. All TEL batteries cease refueling, initiate emergency shutdown, and withdraw to hardened depot sectors for maintenance. It is a textbook example of psychological warfare, turning the enemy's own centralized command structure against itself. The result is immediate chaos. Iranian crew commanders, trained to trust automated diagnostic alerts without hesitation, begin following the instructions at once. Master switches are pulled on mobile launchers. Hydraulic systems hiss as massive Bavar 373 vehicles lower their launch platforms. Fueling lines are disconnected. Vent systems are sealed. Crews believe they are carrying out a critical safety procedure. Then the slow relocation begins. One by one, the vehicles roll out of protected bays and onto the exposed service roads of the desert plateau. They are no longer hidden assets buried inside reinforced tunnels. They are now armored targets moving in a line across open terrain. From high altitude, Israeli Oran A, EW, and C sensors track every vehicle the moment it clears a tunnel exit. The radar picture is clean, stable, and unmistakable. By 0630 hours, IRGC Command finally realizes the red code order was a deception. Panic spreads through the chain of command. In a desperate attempt to regain control of the airspace, Iran orders a rapid scramble of its remaining fighter assets. From hardened revetments near Mehrabad and Tabriz, MiG-29s and F-14 thunder into the sky. Their radar systems power up at full output, sweeping for the incoming Tomahawk wave. This is exactly the moment the F-35 Ayadir formation had been waiting for. Flying in complete silence, the Adirs do not need to launch missiles. They move into the electronic battlespace instead. As Iranian fighters begin locking targets, the F-35I flight activates an override protocol. This is not ordinary jamming. It is a deep digital intrusion aimed at air defense data links and aircraft identification systems. The Adir's AESA arrays emit a highly tailored electromagnetic waveform that imitates the signature of an American F-35. But beneath that signal is another layer entirely. Incoming target packets on the Bavar 373 radar network are quietly rewritten. Inside the OGAB-44 bunker, radar screens erupt into confusion. Friendly tracks become hostile contacts. Threat markers flash across displays in rapid succession. The Adir formation digitally labels Iranian MiG-29s and F-14 as inbound cruise missiles. Inside the fighter cockpits, warning systems begin screaming. Ground controllers are shouting intercept commands, but the Bavar 373 network, now working from corrupted sensor data, automatically shifts lock onto the Iranian fighters as the highest priority threat. For any pilot, it is the worst scenario imaginable. Your own air defense system now sees you as the enemy. Above the Zagros Mountains, the sky descends into total confusion. The Bavar 373 batteries, now operating in a fully automated state and effectively blind to the real situation, begin ripple-firing Sajil 4B missiles toward what their systems incorrectly identify as hostile aerial targets, their own aircraft. High above, the F-35I formation remains in silent orbit, observing. No missiles are launched from their side. No active engagement is needed. The Iranian air defense network is now dismantling itself in real time, piece by piece, under corrupted targeting logic. The Iranian Air Force is being consumed by its own ground-based systems, while the Adir pilots, calm and methodical, maintain position without even opening their internal weapons bays. By 0830 hours, the Iranian air defense structure is effectively broken. Interceptors are either destroyed or grounded, and command and control is locked in cascading system conflicts. The entire defensive network is no longer functioning as a shield. It has become fragmented and unstable. What remains of the so-called missile complex is now fully exposed, sitting in what is effectively a digital kill zone monitored from above. The Israeli Oran airborne early warning platform serves as the central eye of the coalition, coordinating the entire operational picture. Through a secure, low-latency Link 16 cross-domain bridge, a continuous real-time fire control feed is transmitted into the combat systems of B-1B Lancer bombers operating near the Iraqi border. By 0835 hours, the bomber crews are flying without active radar emissions. There is no need for onboard targeting searches or manual designation. Their displays are already populated with high-confidence target data, triangulated and verified through airborne ISR assets. Every transporter erector launcher that was forced out of the bunker is now clearly marked, each one highlighted with precision tracking. The B-1Bs reach their release point. Bomb bay doors open in perfect sequence, and a coordinated strike begins. GBU-31J DAM munitions are released, each one guided by GPS, assisted targeting data toward pre-identified coordinates. These are not unguided drops. They are controlled, precision-guided impacts that correct themselves in flight, locking onto exact positions transmitted through the ISR network. The detonations are immediate and decisive. Across the Zagros Plateau, exposed TEL units, previously believed to be repositioning to safety, are struck in rapid succession. Shockwaves ripple through mountain corridors as secondary collapses and rock slides block key routes, sealing off remaining movement paths. The battlefield map aboard the B-1B aircraft updates in real time as each target disappears from the system. By 10:30 hours, the remaining IRGC coastal missile units and fast attack naval elements receive final orders. In a last attempt to overwhelm defenses, they initiate a mass launch of anti-ship missiles toward USS Gravely and USS Carney in the Gulf. The response is immediate and fully integrated. Aegis Baseline 10 systems, driven by Spy-6 radar tracking, transition the engagement into a fully automated intercept environment. The destroyers do not wait for manual confirmation. The defensive grid activates as a single coordinated system. The sky above the Gulf erupts into intersecting trails of heat and light as SM-3 and ESSM interceptors are launched in rapid succession. Incoming missiles are tracked, assigned, and engaged in seconds, turning the airspace into a layered defensive zone where each threat is met mid-flight. These interceptors don't merely collide with incoming threats, they actively pursue them with the cold precision of automated engagement logic, behaving like systems designed to anticipate and eliminate motion before impact. At the same time, long-range interceptors launched from mobile batteries along the horizon, integrated into a shared Link 16 data network, surge across the border to engage high-trajectory ballistic threats. The result is a layered, three-dimensional defensive architecture where every incoming object is tracked, assigned, and engaged within seconds of detection. What emerges is not a single defensive line, but a stacked kill chain operating across altitude bands and engagement ranges. Not a single Iranian missile manages to penetrate the perimeter. The saturation tactic, refined over years and backed by significant investment, collapses in minutes under coordinated multi-layer interception. As the last wave attempts to break through at low altitude, ship-mounted directed energy systems on the destroyers activate. High-energy laser units engage the remaining cruise missiles with surgical precision, heating and destabilizing their structures mid-flight until they disintegrate before reaching terminal range. Within moments, the sky over the Gulf clears completely. The swarm is gone. By 1200 hours, radar displays aboard USS Gravely and USS Carney flatten into near silence. No inbound tracks remain. No active threats persist. The system transitions from full engagement mode back to steady surveillance, with the operational picture reduced to empty airspace and fading debris fields. The chaotic missile swarm is gone, replaced only by drifting fragments of burning debris scattered across the Gulf. Deep beneath the Zagros Mountains, the OGAB 44 underground network has effectively become a sealed tomb. Its reinforced tunnel entrances are shattered and buried under collapsed rock, sealing off what once functioned as a central node of strategic capability. The overall impact is total. A vast portion of Iran's ballistic missile infrastructure has been taken out of operational use. Mobile TEL units that were exposed during forced movements and misdirected withdrawals now sit destroyed along desert routes, reduced to burned-out wreckage. Across the wider region, the situation shifts in real time. In Syria, long-range reconnaissance systems pick up movement from Russian support aviation assets. The aircraft adjust course, breaking away to the north after assessing the scale of the engagement. The implication is clear. What has unfolded is not an isolated exchange, but a fully demonstrated imbalance in capability. The confrontation is no longer theoretical on any side. It has become a visible display of overwhelming operational superiority, confirmed in real time by every observing system in the region.